Caitlin Clark failed her biggest test yet as a WNBA superstar in Aces loss. Caitlin Clark and her Indiana Fever suffered a heartbreaking loss against the Las Vegas Aces on Thursday night. The MVP candidate missed two key free throws that could have iced the game in the final seconds of the fourth quarter, then committed the turnover that led to Chelsea Gray's buzzer-beater three-pointer in overtime. Clark has had plenty of big moments and games since entering the WNBA, but this was arguably the biggest stage of her pro career to date. Considering the Fever are in a tight race in the standings and they're being talked about as real WNBA championship contenders, a matchup against Vegas meant more, and all of her old bugaboos reared their head at the worst possible time. Caitlin Clark is historically a clutch player, but it didn't show last night. With a win over the Aces, the Fever would have moved up to the number 4 spot in the WNBA standings, only 4 games back of number 1. Indiana has made the playoffs in each of the last 2 years, but they've never been seated higher than number 6 in Clark's time with the team. A win against the reigning champions would have not only boosted their playoff hopes, but also would have given them a huge momentum swing. Falling short isn't exactly what's wrong, though. It's about how the team lost and Clark's uncharacteristic performance. For Vegas to even have a shot at winning, they had to overcome a 20-point deficit. That collapse wasn't solely Clark's fault, but missing key free throws and leading her team with 8 turnovers is unacceptable from the face of the franchise. Clark wasn't the only one who missed crucial free throws, as fellow guard Kelsey Mitchell missed one right before. But she is supposed to be the superstar on this team, so big-time moments fall on her shoulders to show up. It didn't help that she wasn't having a great shooting night overall, going 7 for 20 from the field and 2 for 10 from the three-point line. The former Rookie of the Year is allowed to have an off night from a shooting perspective, but tallying 8 turnovers is unacceptable from one of the best guards in the league. Indiana has been playing their best basketball in years, and a lot of that is because of the success and leadership from its guards. The team recently set a record for most consecutive WNBA 100-point games with 6, which doesn't happen without Clark. But when looking toward the future and the playoffs, she has to be able to close out games, no matter who they face. Caitlin Clark needs to lead her team like A'ja Wilson has led the Aces. Las Vegas is a relentless team that never gives up, which is why they've won 3 championships in 4 years. They're led by their own superstar in A'ja Wilson, who has been consistently praised for holding her teammates accountable. After a 53-point loss to the Lynx last season, Wilson texted her teammates, "If you weren't embarrassed from yesterday, then don't come into this gym." Fast forward to the end of the season, and they were champions. Now is the time for Clark to be the same type of leader in Indiana if they want a shot at a WNBA championship this year. They've proven that they can win big games in the past, but they can only do so if their number 1 player is at her best. That means limiting turnovers and operating efficiently. This isn't the end for Clark or the Fever this year at all, but it can be a turning point. Now, Indiana has a shot to prove itself, as they have one of the hardest remaining schedules in the league. Of their next 4 games, 3 are against playoff teams. The Fever and Aces won't face each other again in the regular season, but there's a possibility to see this matchup again in the playoffs.